What's going on? Everyone, welcome back to the Explosive Wonder today. Just to do something different and totally out of this channel's comfort zone. I'm going to talk about Disney live actions. And today I will be ranking the ones I watched, and then I will do a follow-up ranking probably later that I probably won't get to about all of the live action movies that I watched, whether they're new, whether they were in the past or in the future. But today I'm gonna go over all of the Disney adaptations, live action adaptations that I watched. Preferably my take on Disney live adaptations is that the idea is really creative, having all of these stories, but some of them, as you can see, didn't really work out that well, and, well, all of them didn't really work out well, apart from 3 that I'll talk about in this video right here. But yeah, I'm going to do it. I'll go over the ranking and then I'll explain. And I also think people are being way too harsh on some adaptations and not looking past the bad in order to see the good side of the adaptation, because I believe as a person that even though Disney makes something bad, you can still find the good aspects in it. So, a lot of people would have this ranked differently than I would. So, let's get straight into it and talk about my least favorite. I'll go from least favorite to favorite. My least favorite Disney adaptation has got to be Peter Pan. And I believe this because the live action Peter Pan, there were hardly anything nice. Well, actually, there is one nice thing I would say about the movie. I really liked that it introduced more backstory on Peter Pan and Captain Hook when they were growing up. I feel like that's important, and it's a story that we never really got to see in the animated version. And all those other live action adaptations before this. And next up, I want to go to the acting. It's not because the actors are different races. I know a lot of people have a problem with that. I particularly don't. I don't care what race they are, as long as if they portray the character well. And I don't think the actor and actress for Tinkerbell and Peter Pan and also Captain Hook. Well, really everyone in this movie, basically. I liked Wendy's voice a little bit. I liked her voice actress a little bit. And I don't mind that she has brown hair. A lot of people would say that's basically the problem, but in the animation though, she kind of has auburnish hair. But anyway, yeah, the voice casting is just not very bad. I mean, not bad, it's bad. It's, I don't even know why. They just sound so flat and boring in this movie, even though I know Disney has worked their tail off to adapt Peter Pan, but yeah, there are only so many things you can do, you know, but yeah, and it's not just the acting. Next, I'm going to talk about the visual effects. This is a department where I think Disney wasn't very kind to us with the visual effects, apart from 3 on this list, which were actually very spectacular. And no, I'm not counting Mufasa on this list, because there's nothing to compare it to, right? Anyway, the lighting was... it was harsh, but it was better than some other live action movies that I've seen. But it could have been better, you know? But I think Disney is getting better at the lighting and the sets and props that they use, so next I'm going to talk about the story. Like I said, the story is the best thing, I think, for the movie, you know. I like the story a lot. I get where they're trying to go with it, but the acting just wasn't really there for me, and that kind of breaks the whole movie for me. And the costume design, I want to say something nice about the costumes, but Peter Pan's and Tinkerbell's costumes are just so bland. Captain Hook, it's okay for Captain Hook. It's not the best. They could have done it better. And this doesn't really resemble the animated feature at all when it comes to everything, when it boils down to everything. Again, I don't mind the voice actors being played by someone of color. I think it's important to have diversity even in your films. But yeah, Disney's live action Peter Pan, just 2 out of 10 for me. Next up is what I believe to be a better one, then Peter Pan, and that would be The Little Mermaid. And I can see why some people would put this at the top of the list. But for me it's kind of second of the list. And I think, the lighting is very harsh here. I mean, the visual effects, we'll get to that. Everyone else's costumes is, well, yeah, everyone else's costumes are terrible. I mean, they're good, they're not that great. That's where I'll start the costumes, obviously. The Little Mermaid herself as an Ariel, not too impressed, and I wasn't really impressed by Flounder's design either. It just doesn't look like the animated counterpart, and yeah, I get it, you're trying to be different, and you're trying to establish a more lifelike medium, and it's hard, it really is. But Flounder is just a mess, in my opinion. Sebastian isn't bad, though. Sebastian isn't bad. The Little Mermaid, there are three that really bug me. Next is Ariel herself. Not in, well, her mermaid top, I could have, concept designers have done better with a top than they done in the actual movie. I get where they're going with the shell top, but I think it was kind of cool. But anyway, there are ways around that, you don't even have to make it seashells. Obviously it would be in the form of seashells, but yeah, I just don't know. And then her land design. There's only one design and it bothers me. The animated counterpart even has more costumes than Ariel has in this movie. And it doesn't just bug me, it bugs a lot of people. I think it's okay. They could have done better with the lens design. Like, added more flair. And I would have also given her the shining seafoam dress in the end. And then her pink ball gown is really what I wanted to see in this film. Of course, when I watched it, I wasn't very familiar with the animated film. I mean, I was a little bit, but the live action just slipped into my head, and yeah. Well, there aren't really songs in Peter Pan, so let's talk about Prince Eric's design. I agree with a lot of people. It is kind of bland for Eric as well. And yeah. Ursula, I wasn't really impressed by her design either, and it bothers me a little bit. Not much as the others do, but it still bothers me a little bit to feel like this is what we're getting. And I get the intent, like, it's not to make kids look scared of Ursula. Anyway, I don't know how we ended on this one. Casting was overall good. I like King Triton as character. I like Ariel's character a lot. I think Halle Bailey does a fantastic job with Ariel. A lot of people will disagree with me on that. The ones that I probably would have recast are Sebastian and Ursula. Sebastian just has a very high voice when he's singing. When it speaks, I feel like it's fine, but David Dees is fine as a character. I have no problem with him voicing Sebastian ultimately in the end, and I get why Disney did it, and yeah, his singing voice just sounds a little flat and a little high for Sebastian. Ursula just kind of felt forced. And feel like she was in a different movie than everyone else. And when I first watched it, I was like, Ursula's fine, whatever. But then, I kind of agree now looking back on it of what other critics have said. And I remember that would be the case, but anyway, and the visual effects, right? The castle, well, actually I don't mind the castle. Some critics say that it could have looked a little bit more dazzling, and I would agree. Like I said, the lighting was very harsh, especially when it was a dark kind of scene. Right, and just the ones in the sun were just, I feel like they could have done better with the lighting in this movie. I also feel like they, excuse me, could have done better with Triton's castle as well. It's just a pile of rocks, and I get it, it's supposed to look like coral, but to land on this, it isn't good.